Welcome to A Table in the Corner, the show about the people behind the places where we love to eat. The chefs, the restaurateurs, and quiet grafters who make restaurants feel like more than just rooms full of tables. In each episode, I sit down with the operators who shape restaurant culture, from fine diners to the neighborhood spots we keep going back to. We talk about food, obviously, but also about menus and creativity, success and failure, pressure and resilience, what it really takes to keep showing up in an industry that asks so much of you. I've worked in food and media for more than 3 decades, from running live music venues to cigar bars and an Eat Out award-winning restaurant, to producing cookbooks and spending years writing about and photographing food in Cape Town and abroad. A Table in the Corner is my way of giving something back to an industry that has given me a great deal. The show is available weekly wherever you listen to podcasts, and there's now a video version on YouTube so you can see the spaces my guests have built. Now, settle in at your table in the corner and enjoy the conversation after this commercial break. One of the biggest pressures in restaurants right now is cost. Ingredients, cleaning supplies, dry goods, everything edges up. And unless you're checking constantly, it's hard to know whether you're paying a fair price or just accepting what people charge. Heads Up is a South African cost comparison tool built for restaurants. You upload or scan your invoices, and it shows you how your prices compare with other suppliers in your region. So you might discover you're paying R5 more per kilo for chicken than the restaurant down the road, or that your cleaning materials are 15% cheaper somewhere else. Suddenly, you have real information to negotiate with, instead of just a hunch. For new restaurants, Heads Up also helps benchmark costs properly from day one, so menus are priced with confidence. There's a link to the Heads Up website in the show notes. Call them, get a demo, see what they do. A chef of legend, Mertia's chef, Matt van den Berg. How's it?
How's it, Russell? Thanks for having me. I wouldn't say legend, but maybe one day, not like some of the guys I've worked with
Well,
before,
as long as you're a legend in your own mind, you're okay, bro.
Yeah, not quite. Not yet, at least. Not yet, at least.
So, one of the reasons I phoned you, because, I want to talk to chefs on my show and ones who are doing well, but also a lot of the chefs I've spoken to recently, when I ask them, like, who are you watching, who's doing amazing stuff, they say, oh, Matt van den Berg. I'm like, who?
Yeah, who is that?
Who's that?
Yeah, I don't know quite. I don't know how to respond to that. Obviously, that's great. And I think one of my things I pride myself on is my relationships with chefs in the industry. So maybe that's a factor of that. And everywhere I've worked and people I've touched paths with, I've got very good relationships with all of them.
That is a common theme. Everyone says you're an amazingly nice guy. Are they right?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. There's obviously a few guys I've worked with in the kitchens that maybe were my students or commies. I might not say the same thing, but that's a service thing, And I think
absolutely. And
after service, we have a beer and we're all good. But I think when I first started out, I was a bit gnarly, and I've definitely mellowed out a lot. But in terms of relationships with the other chefs in the restaurants, I think it's important to have good relationships because we all work so hard.
I want to go through, because, I want to talk a little bit about your path here through Colombe and how you went. But I want to go to the beginning. How did you find your way into kitchens? You went to Silwood, right?
I went to Silwood, correct,
So at, somewhere along the line, little Matt van den Berg said, I want to be a chef. I'm going to phone Silwood and see if they got a place for me. How did you get there?
I don't have the conventional story of cooking with my grandma or anything like that. My sister's a chef. She worked on the yachts, and my path into chefing was, like I said, a little bit unconventional. I got a degree at Stellenbosch first, did BCom economics and investments, decided to take a gap year. And but before I get into that, I want to tell you a story. I was at a wedding last night, and one of the girls I lived with got married, and my wife asked them if I knew how to cook when I was at varsity. I knew my wife then as well, but I want to know, Matt didn't cook that much when you lived with you, and they were literally sorry for my French, but how the fuck are you a chef? Because you did not cook once.
Were you like those tin frankfurter and beans?
Yeah, that
digs, mate.
Yeah, it was all varsity students. Did a little toast, Marmite, bit of bread, pizza takeaways, McDonald's. So, like I said, my path was unconventional. I was exposed to fine dining early on, with my sister being a chef. She worked on the yacht, so she'd come back and treat us. So I respect both sides. I can eat a McDonald's burger, but I can also sit down and hold a knife and fork and be normal, civilized. But I also enjoy using my hands, So unconventional in the sense that I went to work on the yachts when I took a gap year as a deckhand, not as a chef.
Oh, not as a chef, as a deckhand.
My sister's a chef. I spent a bit of time in the galley with her on her boat. Went to work on another boat. The owner of the boat found out that I was South African, so he was like, "You need to braai." So I braaied for him a bit, and then I, through that, got a bit more involved in the cooking on the boat, and then decided I was going to go back to the yachts and make a lot of money as a chef. Enrolled at Silwood, expecting to do 1 year only, and go, like I said, go make money on the yachts. And then just 1 year of chefing school, it just felt right.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. So just hold the phone a bit.
Sorry, a bit fast.
So, no. You go fast, and that's fine. I'll keep reining you in. That's my job here. My role is to rein you in. So you were working as a deckhand. Did anyone not say to you, "Oh, listen, the chef's off. They're on shore leave. Like, can you heat us up a can of beans?" You didn't do something like that.
No, I think the yacht chefs are all well equipped in terms of chefs.
Chef, okay.
So I did work on a boat that was like a new boat and a thing like that. So the chef on the boat would only cook for the owner. So he wasn't interested in cooking for the crew.
Okay.
And as a result, we had to kind of fend for ourselves and just grab stuff from the fridge. And so then
get
I
a
started
candle in
cooking
the can. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But at this point, it started not being beans on toast and tomato sauce and burgers. So then I started experimenting and whatever, make salads and make it interesting.
So it's like this chefing, this place where we find Matt van den Berg now, that's your second career, right? Did you ever practice? Did you ever use your degree?
No, I didn't. I studied.
Did your folks go, "Hey, where's our money?"
The folks were like, "We're paying for a degree, not chef school. You've changed your mind, so you need to make it work." And surprisingly, or not surprisingly, I think all the chefs know, but chef school is a lot more expensive than varsity.
Whoa, properly.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have difficulty believing the numbers when you compare them. Even Stellenbosch. Yeah. I mean, the comparison between some of the cooking schools.
But we won't get into that conversation.
No, let's not.
Might get us in trouble. But I only I borrowed money from my sister to do it, and I paid her back last year, I think, after quite a few years. So debt free, all sorted, and I can.
But when did you do your course?
I started in 2017.
And it's taken you 8 years.
Yeah, I started in 2017, but 8 years because it was a family member that paid me. So it wasn't like a constant repayment. It was more like
what was the interest rate?
Oh, I got the good interest rate. I got the exchange rate.
Oh, speaking of which, we're sitting in the space at Mertia, right?
Yes.
And you told me when we were riding up in the lift that this used to be Standard Bank.
Yeah, so this used to be Standard Bank. Mertia found it through whatever rental agency and we converted it from the bank into Mertia in 6 weeks, which was a bit of a crazy turnaround. The first day we had guests. We didn't have any tables. Our first guest, I think Mabato was one of them. She came up our back entrance, like the back kitchen entrance, because we locked the front door and they pulled it, taking the keys for the front door. So it was fun. I think it's a good memory.
But the memory you were referencing was when people were sitting here saying, "Oh, I actually got my first bank loan here."
Yeah, so a couple of people have come through and sitting down eating. They were like, well, halfway through the meal, you're like, just so you know, like actually, I was here 25 years ago and my home loan got approved at this exact seats I'm sitting at, but very different environment,
Yeah. Well, so we are now kind of drifting away from the plan. We need a plan, Matt. We need to follow the plan.
Sorry,
so let's not drift. No,
I ramble.
I did. No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So you went to varsity, you got your degree, you went on the yachts, had a jewel. Why'd you come back? Isn't it a jewel, being on yachts and working on? What are you doing back?
My long-term partner, now wife. We did long distance for, I think it was 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
He's so looking, Geordie. I got you, baby. So we did, we did long distance and was shit.
Yeah.
The plan was to, that was before chefing. Although I don't see her anymore now, so chefing hours is the same as the might as well be overseas.
You may as well
and everyone knows that. But yeah, I decided because I was going to be strenuous in a relationship and I wanted to stay with her.
Yeah.
So try to work here. And I think one of the main things is like if you can make it in South Africa, I think it's the best place to live in the world.
That's true.
So this obviously it comes with problems, but I was like, let's stick it out in South Africa.
Well, except if you live in some tiny little village that doesn't even have a Woolworths like Stellenbosch. Really?
When was the last time you were in Stellenbosch? Stellenbosch was big.
Listen, I can't believe the development here. And I couldn't believe the traffic trying to get here. Right. Let's try and be disciplined.
Yes.
So let's talk about that little progression. You went from Silwood. Did you go back on the yachts, or did you get into the La Colombes? Because I know that you were in La Colombe's kitchen for quite a while.
First kitchen I ever worked in was Test Kitchen as a first year student.
Okay.
With Luke. Back then, Ryan was
before
head chef.
it was fledglings, though.
Yes,
it was still Test Kitchen.
And
Ryan Cole was
Ryan was head chef, and I remember walking in as a first year student, terrified, but also relatively confident because I knew I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to cook. Okay. But also like a little bit uneasy. The energy in the kitchen was incredible. Like it was like magnetic and like intense, but cutthroat. But at the same time, like a little bit of underlying anxiety all the time, but in a good way. It felt good.
The cutthroat thing.
Yeah.
Someone told me the other day, I was talking that like mess with your sauce bottle or when you're trying to climb up. Is it just sort of jokey, ragging sort of thing, or can it be quite serious?
I think in the kitchen you're working with so many different people. I think that's definitely fallen away. But I've seen kitchens where you work in kitchens with different personalities, different cultures, and not everyone gets along. So there becomes a thing where it's like, you're causing cack with me, I'm gonna fuck with you, and I'm gonna one up you, and I'm gonna take a spatula. And I've seen things get thrown away, and people can't find it in service and stuff. But it wasn't like a regular thing. I think maybe like 3 times in a year it happened. And I mean, you're spending 15, 16, 17 hours a day with the people. There's always going to be a bit of friction, and it's not the best way to deal with it, but it makes it fun. It's a good story afterwards.
It's a good story afterwards. So I'm going to take a commercial break. We've got to hear from our sponsors so we can fund the show. When we come back, I want to talk to you just some quick steps as to how you went through Test Kitchen La Colombe and how you find yourself at Mertia. Cool. If you run a restaurant, you know that service doesn't start when the first guest arrives. It starts with bookings, changes, deposits, no-shows, WhatsApps at midnight, and the phone ringing during the pre-service briefing. Novel is a South African restaurant booking system built for people who actually understand service. It gives you one clear view of bookings, walk-ins, queues, and guest notes, and it handles confirmations, deposits, and changes without tying up the phone or the front desk. And the whole system is designed to calm things down before doors open. Plans start at 585 Rand a month, significantly less than older systems, without cutting any corners on features or support. Mention the show, A Table in the Corner, when you call to book a demo. Novel is offering my listeners 2 months free subscription. Their website and co-founder Jesse Singer's email address are in the show notes. And we're back. So let's talk about that. How your first gig was Test Kitchen. Then where did you go from there?
Okay, quickly, because I can't ramble. First time I ever worked in a kitchen was 2 weeks at Test Kitchen. I got sent home every day pretty much when service started. Then 1 or 2 nights I was allowed to stay, and I was like, okay, you're going to blowtorch ducks in the fridge. And then I spent the next 2 weeks blowtorching ducks in the fridge. So I never really saw service, and I always wanted to be involved in that. You're a first year student, you never cooked before, you're in the way.
Were the ducks silent?
Ducks were silent. They just let me do my thing. Following that, did my second year at Silwood. Worked at 5 different restaurants, and at the time they were the best restaurants in the Western Cape: Greenhouse, Vaderkloof, La Petite Colombe, La Colombe, and Test Kitchen.
When you were there?
Pete and Ashley.
Okay, Ash.
Chef Pete and Ashley.
Chef Peter, yes.
So it was so I worked those 5 restaurants. Third year I did a Test Kitchen.
It's like your
final year at Silwood. You do like a 1 year at a restaurant.
Yeah,
I did that at Test Kitchen.
And you go back and you get reassessed every Monday or something like that.
Yes, that's in your second year, but something like that. And then my final year I did it at Test Kitchen. Hard graft. I lost. I wish I had lost that weight now, but I lost. I think it was like 15, 20 kilograms in 3 months. Without the dwellies. It was just hard work. Running around, like exercising, like sport, So I loved it
because also you're pulling big hours in that in those kitchens. Eh?
And one of my funniest memories was Chef Luke came up to me while I was working. I was halfway through my third year, and he looked at me. He's like, "Fuck, Matt, you look like a chef. I love it. You're skinny, you pale, you got bags under your eyes. You're a fucking real chef now." That's what he said.
And you got nicks on your hands.
Exactly. So that was a good year. It was a really hard year. But I think without that year, I wouldn't have been where I am today.
Okay, and let's talk about where you are today, because we kind of digressed a little bit into Mertia and into it being formerly a bank, and you in the tiny quiet, sleepy village of Stellenbosch, What about this space made you think, oh, I'll open a restaurant here?
Yeah, so I was working at Colombe at the time, and I got a DM from some random guy I've never heard of, approaching me saying that he's working in San Francisco. He wants to open a restaurant in Stellenbosch. Yeah. So I think immediately that was like, oh, that's interesting. I was very happy at Colombe, wasn't interested in leaving. But obviously a restaurant in Stellenbosch piqued my interest because I grew up here.
Okay, so that's what drew you back and got you on the ox wagon with all your possessions, the 5-day trek out here.
Back to the mountains. And just, myself and Maria had a conversation and we kept chatting. And then
now, Maria, you've mentioned already, and you say Maria found this. Maria is your partner in the restaurant?
Yeah, Maria owns Mertia. I'm the head chef.
So Maria owns it. He said, listen, let's go.
Yeah, so we opened it together. And I think I'd always worked in really high or really reputable restaurants, Test Kitchen, Colombe, that all the restaurants in the Colombe group, they're all unbelievable. So I'd always worked in restaurants that were already established. So I was coming in and slotting into systems that already existed and maybe helping improve them here and there. Whereas this was a new challenge for me to be like, let me try create my own systems. And I feel like I owed it to myself to try cook my own food and put my own step.
And is the relationship, it's not like that movie Chef where the owner says, you will cook this.
No.
Has Maria given you your head and you've been able to do what
complete freedom?
Because your tasting menus and your exploration of kind of heritage ingredients and that sort of thing, that's a lot of what I'm reading in reviews and commentary about Mertia.
Yeah, I think we'll get to the menu in a second. But
okay, we will, yes.
Because it's ever changing, I think. It was for me, it's a new opportunity to be to put my stamp on the food scene here, to prove to myself that is all chefs I think have got an underlying self-doubt, right? Yeah. So it was for me, it's like, okay, I've worked in restaurants, I've cooked other people's food, but I need to cook my own food or try work out what my own food looks like. And I'm still figuring that out. I don't really know what my food looks like.
I mean, among the trades, chefing, I believe, to be the most creative of the trades. And chefing is a trade, it's
for sure,
it's like this.
It's blue with us, blue collar work.
It's a blue collar, exactly, And it's the most creative, but there's a double-edged sword there, because being a creative means that you're constantly questioning yourself. Yeah. Because the self-doubt comes in that should I, would I, could I, all that stuff. But I mean, it doesn't seem like, in looking at the construction of your menu, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of self-doubt there, my brew.
Yeah, I don't know. I just cook food that's nice and hopefully people enjoy it, But I mean, I do put thought into it, but it does become difficult when we do change the menu 3 to 4 times a year. It's all mood dependent, right? So if I don't like a dish, I'll change it. Or if the dish comes back from the table, often it hasn't been eaten, I'll have to be like, shit, we did something wrong. And I learned that from Chef Pete. He would look at the dishes from the scullery and all the table in the scullery and be like, there's a lot of food left repetitively. There's the same thing coming back on the dish. Let's change your element or relook at the dish.
So do you do that a lot?
I try to do that as much as possible. And if there's a dish that people don't like, then I'll rework it. But I think the menu we got on now is interesting because I've got a dessert, ostrich dessert kind of thing on, which is a bit weird. So there's a fine line between making food that the guests want to eat, but also making food that makes you satisfied.
Yeah, exactly.
So
getting into that side of things, I mean, you are under quite an intense lens in this restaurant because you're seating, I'm looking around 28, 30.
28 at a time, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you're seating 28 and you're doing 2 seatings.
Yeah.
Right, so you can seat 50, you can seat 56 in a certain.
Yeah, essentially, maybe not 56, maybe 45 max.
Okay.
And then the team will feel it. But it's
very, because you're serving them that tasting menu, and it's very, everyone's looking at that dish. Do all the dishes go out at the same time like Belly of the Beast does that, which I think is a great idea? Yeah. Or are people sitting down at different times and their courses are going out as they come out?
Very, very different. I think it would be nice to serve everything at the same time, because it'll make the kitchen's life easier.
So much easier.
It's more consistent, I think.
Yeah.
No, what we do is we've got different time slots. So we've allocated time slots every 15 minutes for the first seating. And then we take a break, an hour break. And then we start the second seating in 15-minute increments.
We used to do that at the table at Demay, was try to stagger people, because we're a tiny, tiny kitchen. I mean, we're doing 48 covers, 48 or 52 covers, and there were 3 people in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's wild.
So, and then everyone books for lunch, and they think lunch is 1 o'clock. So everyone, even if you say, please arrive at 12:30, so take the pressure off the kitchen, everyone arrives between 5 to 1 and 5:1. So
it happens in Mertia as well, time's just a guideline.
The sponsors, they have demands. So an ad break. Johannesburg has always had strong opinions about burgers. Big city, big appetites, high standards. Which is why I'm genuinely pleased to say that Zuni Burger has just opened in Joburg, and they've landed properly. Zuni was started by the sons of 2 Eastern Cape Wagyu farmers who decided to do something meaningful with exceptional beef. The meat comes fresh, straight from their own farms. For their smash burgers, the buns are baked in-house, sauces made from scratch, chips are fried in Wagyu tallow. Nothing fancy, nothing hidden, just proper, honest bun, meat, pickle, onion, sauce. And cheese if you want it. They call it farm to bun, and it shows in every bite. Zuni's opened at 9 Yards in Parktown North. I know chasing burgers in the high altitude, low oxygen environment can be a drag, but if you care about how food is made, this one is really worth the effort. And we're back. So let's talk about specifics for the menu again, okay? What is a dish that typifies you, what you do as a chef? What dish could you eat and say, this is Matt? Is it frankfurters and beans?
Maybe not a Mertia.
Yeah. And I'm not asking from the perspective of your digs mates at varsity. I'm asking in Mertia.
Yeah, Mertia. Yeah. At Mertia. At home, not fine dining and braai, but at Mertia, I don't know, it's a hard question because you've changed your menu so many times. There's one dish that's been on the menu since we started. Yeah. It's definitely a pleaser, a crowd pleaser. It's like the Mertia hen's egg. I think that is probably one of them because it's been on the menu. We've done like slight difference and variations on it, but it's definitely the dish that's been on the most. So got like a custom ceramic egg made by Ceramic Labs, Sean, in Woodstock. She made like an egg. It looks a bit like an ostrich egg, and then we make delicious things on the inside. So it's texturally interesting. It's got lots of different textures. It's rich, but it's classic. It's sous vide egg, 63. It's got a bit of like a chicken jus gras with truffle and smoked butter, crispy black rice, pickled potatoes, which become like gummy bears, homemade Lay's chips, burnt butter crumb, and then we make like a soubise infused with toasted parmesan and truffle. And then we just drop the hen's egg and then we smoke it for a little bit of theatrics, So not over the top theatrical, but enough theatrics to make it
very, very technical.
Technical, but delicious. And I like technical food. That's what I've learned.
So that's the question. Are you a technical chef? Is that what fascinates you about the cooking? Is it the technical side of it? Is it the temperature control, the interpretation of the ingredients, the caramelization in some things at certain temperatures?
Yeah, I think definitely like maybe not that precise, but I think the food serving at Mertia is very technical and it's perfect in terms of like how it's executed. So it's really, and that's one of the tricky parts to make sure things are executed when they're very technical. Team's great. They do an amazing job at it. But yeah, I think our food, I don't think it's technical sometimes, but if I don't think it's technical, doesn't mean it's not technical,
No, exactly.
But I think me finding myself of trying to, I think it's easier to cook rich food, right? So I'm trying to push myself and challenge myself to kind of step away from food that's got 15 elements on it or plates with 15 elements and kind of pare back because it's harder to do that, I think. So I'm trying to push myself to do less on the plates.
Well, the thing is that always in every kind of circumstance and in every creative circumstance, simplicity is the hardest thing to achieve.
Sure.
And it's almost like you need to go over the top and push all the boundaries first so you can come back and do simple. Yeah.
But yeah, like exactly like that. I'm in that moment. I'm in that journey of discovering what type of chef or what type of food I'm going to cook. So there's maybe some people that have come here and had the best meal of their life, and other people that have come here and be like, maybe this one wasn't it. And that's the issue with changing the menu a lot. It's good for the team. It keeps morale up, but also makes it harder for them because then there's a week or two where we just put the new menu on this week, and it's been a very rough week. Everyone's exhausted. Everyone's tired. And it's just like seasoned, So
let's talk about the other thing that I love to ask chefs, and it's about the watch list. Who in your mind is absolutely killing it at the moment?
I think there's a couple. There's there's two people that spring to mind. Obviously, one of them has to be Carla, as my bestie and business partner for Habanao. I don't know if you know about Habanao.
No.
Oh, yeah. So it's a very short topic, but we started, myself and Carla, while working at Test Kitchen, started at Habanao, which is like a Asian street food brand that we sell bao buns, and at the Ranyuzuk market. So we opened a new market last week and a Time Out market.
What made you do that?
COVID.
Yeah,
okay. Straight up COVID. And, yeah, and it was meant to be short term. Carla is the executive chef of Salon. Yeah, she's my best friend, and she's a legend. So we opened Habanao together.
I want to talk to her. I want to get her number from you.
I will
so
give
I
it to
can chat
you.
to her,
So I think what Carla's doing at Salon is incredible. Like I said, I had a meal early in the year, and I think it was my best meal of the year. Probably one of my best meals in South Africa in a long time. Another great restaurant or great meal I had earlier this year was at La Petite Colombe. I think having worked there as well, I got obviously get a little bit of special treatment, which is nice. Then Uzuri. I think every chef's favorite restaurant is Uzuri. Aiden's a good mate of mine and studied together. Nick, legend.
Nick is a complete legend.
I've
spoken to him twice on the show.
Yeah.
And
Aiden's his head chef.
Okay.
He's obsessed with food. Spent a bit of time in Copenhagen. I think what the food he's doing is some of the stuff he learned. He's always destined to be an amazing chef. But you need to talk to Aiden as well.
You know what? That's a great shout, and I'm going to track Aiden down and talk to him.
It's easy eating, but it's very finessed. And it's, like I said, it's simple food, but it's executed well. I go to Eat Karma, I think I honestly go to Eat Karma 4 times a month.
Marco Cardoso.
Oh, what he's just such a good guy.
Listen, he's the nicest dude.
Yeah.
And he cooks like a dream.
Yeah, it feels good. It's just food you want to eat every day.
It's so clever. And it's also not expensive. I mean,
it's not expensive at all.
I looked, when I interviewed him recently, I looked again at the I was like, dude.
South Africa is producing the best value for money food in the world, hands down, without a doubt.
There's no question in my mind about that.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying it. I didn't have to again.
We like the warmth of the people, the quality of food, the quality of service,
but even
the produce we're getting, and what you're paying for is ridiculous.
And also, you look out the window and what you see, it's just gorgeous. It's unbelievable.
And it's got everything. You can swim, hike, be in the wine. Everything within an hour is like you can pretty much do anything. Maybe except skiing and being in the snow.
Well, the only thing that isn't within an hour is Mertia restaurant because it takes 3 days to get here in a wagon. Come on.
Or maybe it just takes an hour to find parking in Stellenbosch. That's the problem.
Exactly, probably, yeah. But I mean, it's a beautiful town and there's a lot of amazing stuff going on with the food here. It must be nice to be a part of it because you've also got a community of guys you can talk to here.
Yeah, we've got our chef community called Onostok. So we meet once every 2 months. Whether we discuss the food trends or whether we discuss random stuff or just have a drink together, it's just connecting a little bit to making sure we're all lucky people that are come together. Baptist and Sean brought everyone together. And we've got our group of guys, and whenever new restaurants open and people get invited to the group. And so it's looking forward to the Steadies community growing more and more because I think the better we all do, the better the individuals do.
Listen, thank you for taking this time to speak to me today. It's been an absolute joy.
It's been good having the ox wagon down.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to go and get it out of the stables and dust it off and get back to the southern suburbs again.
Yeah, thanks for chatting to me.
Well done, you made it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
finally.